The Central African Republic, approximately the size of France, is situated in Central Africa. It shares borders with Chad to the north, Sudan and South Sudan to the north and east, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Kinshasa, and the Republic of the Congo, Brazzaville, to the south, and Cameroon to the west. Its capital, Bangui, lies on the southern border, marked by the Ubangi River, a Congo River tributary. The country's landscape features a vast rolling plateau, serving as a major drainage divide between the Lake Chad and Congo River basins. The capital of the Central African Republic is Bangui. The city sits on the west bank of the Ubangi River and is the country's commercial and administrative center. Founded as a French trading post in 1889, Bangui has grown into a city that blends wooded hills and grassy meadows with a mix of residential districts and a somewhat run-down city center. Diamonds, cotton, timber, coffee, and sisal are shipped from Bangui. The city is also home to the University of Bangui and the BOGANDA Museum, which features traditional Central African artifacts. The official languages of the Central African Republic are French and Sango. Sango, originally from the Ubangi River region, serves as a lingua franca for nearly 90% of the population. Christian missionaries simplified and spread the language in the 1940s and 50s. A wide variety of languages are spoken in the Central African Republic, including Baya, Gbaya, Bunda, Ngbeka, Sera, Mbum, Kare, and Manjia. Interactions among people speaking different languages include trade, intermarriage, war, and enslavement. The Central African Republic is a landlocked country in Africa that is about the size of France. It shares borders with Chad to the north, Sudan and South Sudan to the north and east, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Kinshasa, and the Republic of the Congo, Brazzaville, to the south. Cameroon to the west. Bangui, the capital, is on the southern border along the Ubangi River, a Congo River tributary. The Central African Republic is rich in natural resources, which are central to its economy. Agriculture is the largest sector, with most people relying on farming. The country has considerable agricultural potential because it is located on a fertile plateau and has abundant water resources. The country is mostly self-sufficient in basic foodstuffs, and the government has been encouraging agricultural diversification. Diamonds account for nearly half of the country's total export earnings. Timber is also a vital source of foreign exchange. Gold, uranium, iron ore, copper, and manganese are mined in smaller quantities. The country's waterfalls are sources of hydroelectric power. The Central African Republic has faced numerous challenges in recent history. In the early 2000s, the government struggled with protests due to its inability to pay civil servants and the military, along with attempted military overthrows. In 2005, fighting between government and rebel forces caused many to flee to Chad. A new rebel coalition, Seleka, launched an incursion in 2012, demanding the president's removal. Despite a power-sharing deal in 2013, Seleka seized the capital, leading to widespread condemnation and violence between Christians and Muslims. By 2018, a significant portion of the population was displaced, and the country relied on international peacekeeping forces to maintain order. Corruption, financial mismanagement, and political unrest have further strained the economy. The Central African Republic, CAR, is a landlocked country in Central Africa. It is bordered by Chad to the north, Sudan to the northeast, South Sudan to the east, the Democratic Republic of the Congo to the south, the Republic of the Congo to the southwest, and Cameroon to the west. Bangui is the country's capital and largest city, bordering the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The Central African Republic covers a land area of about 620,000 square kilometers, 240,000 square miles. As of 2024, it has a population of 5,357,744, consisting of about 80 ethnic groups. Having been a French colony under the name Ubangi-Shari, French is the official language, with Sango, Ngbandi-based Creole language, as the national and co-official language. The Central African Republic mainly consists of Sudano-Guinean savanna, but the country also includes a Sahelo-Sudanian zone in the north and an equatorial forest zone in the south. Two-thirds of the country is within the Ubangi River basin, which flows into the Congo, while the remaining third lies in the basin of the Shari, which flows into Lake Chad. What is today the Central African Republic has been inhabited since at least 8000 BCE. The country's borders were established by France, which began annexing portions to the French Congo in the late 19th century and in 1903 established the separate colony of Ubangi-Shari, part of French Equatorial Africa. After gaining independence from France in 1960, the Central African Republic was ruled by a series of autocratic leaders, including under Jean-Bedel Bokassa, who changed the country's name to the Central African Empire and ruled as a monarch from 1976 to 1979. The Central African Republic Bush War began in 2004 and, despite a peace treaty in 2007 and another in 2011, civil war resumed in 2012. The civil war perpetuated the country's poor human rights record, characterized by widespread and increasing abuses by various participating armed groups. Despite the country's vast amounts of natural resources, such as uranium reserves, crude oil, gold, diamonds, cobalt, lumber, and hydropower, as well as significant quantities of arable land, the Central African Republic is among the 10 poorest countries in the world, with the lowest GDP per capita at purchasing power parity in the world as of 2017. As of 2023, according to the Human Development Index, HDI, the country had the third lowest level of human development, ranking 191 out of 193 countries. The country had the second lowest Inequality-Adjusted Human Development Index, IHDI, ranking 164th out of 165 countries. The Central African Republic is also estimated to be the unhealthiest country as well as the worst country to be in for young people. The Central African Republic is a member of the United Nations, the African Union, the Economic Community of Central African States, the Organisation Internationale de la Francophonie and the Non-Aligned Movement. The Central African Republic is a landlocked nation within the interior of the African continent. It is bordered by Cameroon, Chad, Sudan, South Sudan, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and the Republic of the Congo. Much of the country consists of flat or rolling plateau savanna approximately 500 meters, 1,640 feet, above sea level. In addition to the Ferdi Hills in the northeast of the Central African Republic, there are scattered hills in the southwest regions. In the northwest is the Yad Massif, a granite plateau with an altitude of 348 meters, 1,143 feet. The Central African Republic contains 6 terrestrial ecoregions: northeastern Congolian lowland forests, northwestern Congolian lowland forests, western Congolian swamp forests, East Sudanese savanna, northern Congolian forest savanna mosaic, and Sahelian acacia savanna. At 622,984 square kilometers, 240,535 square miles, the Central African Republic is the world's 44th largest country. Much of the southern border is formed by tributaries of the Congo River. The Mbomu River in the east merges with the Uele River to form the Ubangi River, which also comprises portions of the southern border. The Sangha River flows through some of the western regions of the country, while the eastern border lies along the edge of the Nile River watershed. Around 36% of the country is covered by forest, with the densest parts generally located in the southern regions. The forests are highly diverse and include commercially important species of ius, sapele, and sippo. The deforestation rate is about 0.4% per annum, and lumber poaching is commonplace. The Central African Republic had a 2018 Forest Landscape Integrity Index mean score of 9.28/10, ranking it 7th globally out of 172 countries. In 2008, Central African Republic was the world's least light pollution affected country. The focal point of the Ubangui magnetic anomaly, one of the largest magnetic anomalies on Earth, is located within the country's capital. Two trans-African automobile routes pass through the Central African Republic, the Tripoli-Cape Town Highway and the Lagos-Mombasa Highway. Bangui is the transport hub of the Central African Republic. As of 1999, 8 roads connected the city to other main towns in the country, Cameroon, Chad, and South Sudan. Of these, only the toll roads are paved. During the rainy season from July to October, some roads are impassable. River ferries sail from the river port at Bangui to Brazzaville and Zongo. The river can be navigated most of the year between Bangui and Brazzaville. From Brazzaville, goods are transported by rail to Pointe-Noire, Congo's Atlantic port. The river port handles the overwhelming majority of the country's international trade and has a cargo handling capacity of 350,000 tons. It has 350 meters, 1,150 feet, length of wharfs and 24,000 square meters, 260,000 square feet, of warehousing space. Bangui Mpoko International Airport is Central African Republic's only international airport. As of June 2014, it had regularly scheduled direct flights to Brazzaville, Casablanca, Cotonou, Douala, Kinshasa, Lomé, Luanda, Malabo, N'Djamena, Paris, Pointe-Noire, and Yaoundé. Since at least 2002 there have been plans to connect Bangui by rail to the Trans-Cameroon Railway. The Central African Republic primarily uses hydroelectricity as there are few other low-cost resources for generating electricity. Access to electricity is very limited, with 15.6% of the total population having electrification, 34.6% in urban areas and 1.5% in rural areas. Presently, the Central African Republic has active television services, radio stations, internet service providers, and mobile phone carriers. Socatel is the leading provider for both internet and mobile phone access throughout the country. The primary governmental regulating bodies of telecommunications are the Ministère de Postes and Telecommunications et de Nouvelles Technologies. In addition, the Central African Republic receives international support on telecommunication-related operations from ITU Telecommunication Development Sector, ITUD, within the International Telecommunication Union to improve infrastructure. The population of the Central African Republic has almost quadrupled since independence. In 1960, the population was 1,232,000, as of a 2021 UN estimate, it is approximately 5,457,154. The United Nations estimates that approximately 4% of the population aged between 15 and 49 is HIV positive. Only 3% of the country has antiretroviral therapy available, compared to 17% coverage in the neighboring countries of Chad and the Republic of the Congo. The nation comprises over 80 ethnic groups, each having its own language. The largest ethnic groups are the Bagara Arabs, Baka, Bunda, Bayaka, Fula, Gbaya, Kara, Kresh, Mbeka, Manja, Bandai, Sara, Vidiri, Wodabi, Yakoma, Yulu, and Zanda, with others including Europeans of mostly French descent. The most common ethnic groups are Gbaya, Baya, 28.8%, and Bunda, 22.9%, comprising together slightly over half of the country's population in 2003. The Central African Republic's two official languages are French and Sango, also spelled Sangho, a Creole developed as an inter-ethnic lingua franca based on the local Bandai language. Like Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, Tanzania, Rwanda, Kenya, Uganda, South Africa, and North African countries among others, Central African Republic is one of the African countries to have granted official status to an African language. According to the 2003 national census, 80.3% of the population was Christian, 51.4% Protestant and 28.9% Roman Catholic, 10% was Muslim and 4.5% other religious groups, with 5.5% having no religious beliefs. More recent work from the Pew Research Center estimated that, as of 2010, Christians constituted 89.8% of the population, 60.7% Protestant and 28.5% Catholic, while Muslims made up 8.9%. The Catholic Church claims over 1.5 million adherents, approximately one-third of the population. Indigenous belief, animism, is also practiced, and many indigenous beliefs are incorporated into Christian and Islamic practice. A UN director described religious tensions between Muslims and Christians as being high. There are many missionary groups operating in the country, including Lutherans, Baptists, Catholics, Grace Brethren, and Jehovah's Witnesses. While these missionaries are predominantly from the United States, France, Italy, and Spain, many are also from Nigeria, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and other African countries. Large numbers of missionaries left the country when fighting broke out between rebel and government forces in 2002-3, but many of them have now returned to continue their work. According to Overseas Development Institute research, during the crisis ongoing since 2012, religious leaders have mediated between communities and armed groups. They also provided refuge for people seeking shelter. Public education in the Central African Republic is free and is compulsory from ages 6 to 14. However, approximately half of the adult population of the country is illiterate. The two institutions of higher education in the Central African Republic are the University of Bangui, a public university located in Bangui, which includes a medical school, and Euclid University, an international university. The largest hospitals in the country are located in the Bangui district. As a member of the World Health Organization, the Central African Republic receives vaccination assistance, such as a 2014 intervention for the prevention of a measles epidemic. In 2007, female life expectancy at birth was 48.2 years, and male life expectancy at birth was 45.1 years. Women's health is poor in the Central African Republic. As of 2010, the country had the fourth highest maternal mortality rate in the world. The total fertility rate in 2014 was estimated at 4.46 children born/woman. Approximately 25% of women had undergone female genital mutilation. Many births in the country are guided by traditional birth attendants, who often have little or no formal training. Malaria is endemic in the Central African Republic and one of the leading causes of death. According to 2009 estimates, the HIV/AIDS prevalence rate is about 4.7% of the adult population, ages 15 to 49. This is in general agreement with the 2016 United Nations estimate of approximately 4%. Government expenditure on health was $20 PPP per person in 2006 and 10.9% of total government expenditure in 2006. There was only around one physician for every 20,000 people in 2009. With a score of 31.5 in the 2024 Global Hunger Index, the Central African Republic ranks 119th out of the 127 countries with sufficient data to calculate 2024 GHI scores. The nation comprises over 80 ethnic groups, each having its own language. The largest ethnic groups are the Bagara Arabs, Baka, Bunda, Bayaka, Fula, Gbaya, Kara, Kresh, Mbeka, Manja, Bandai, Sara, Vidiri, Wodabi, Yakoma, Yulu, and Zanda, with others including Europeans of mostly French descent. Football is the country's most popular sport. The national football team is governed by the Central African Football Federation and stages matches at the Barthelemy BOGANDA Stadium. Basketball also is popular and its national team won the African Championship twice and was the first Sub-Saharan African team to qualify for the Basketball World Cup, in 1974. Thank for watching this video.